Welcome back. So please accept the request. He's joining. He is already seeing us, but so please accept the request. Hello. Yeah. Okay. So accept it, please. Okay, he's joining. Oh, he's unable to join. I'll request him again. We are connecting him. Just wait for some time.
Yeah.
Welcome back, sir.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay. So we'll continue. Yes. Everything fine, sir? Yeah. Okay. So you were
Holy.
telling us
Yes.
आपका और आप शिक्षक you are as a शिक्षक and
Yeah, I
he's a
think
painter.
you
Yeah.
need to have that element of sharing, and I think that is what makes you a teacher. I think that's the only difference. Otherwise, there's nothing khas in being able to teach. I think anybody can teach, but you need to be a little generous with your time, and you should be able to have that patience and the need. Actually, I would say it's a need. I enjoy it, sharing. um, Sometimes it can be too much, sometimes it can be exhausting, and it is not without dangers, because you are constantly sharing your thought. Like one of my colleagues, Suresh BV, once said that after a complete day of teaching, when I go back home, I have nothing left for myself. And I often feel that, because you've given everything and you haven't kept anything for yourself. So it is difficult. It's not an easy thing. And especially the kind of system we have. See, in Europe, in developed countries, a practicing artists teach for 2 days, 3 days a week. I think that works very well, because you come and you do the teaching and then you go back. But here you are not only teaching, you are, running after things, you are looking after administration. The administration is not always up to the scratch. So you are trying to kind of fill the holes in the structure. In your multitasking constantly, which can be a little exhausting. I was actually feeling the exhaustion, and coronavirus couldn't have come at a better time. I know I sound terrible because a lot of people are suffering so badly. I shouldn't be saying this, but this actually has given me a breather, and I am enjoying it very much, because this time of the year is otherwise madness. You are setting up exhibitions, you are counseling people, you are looking at dissertations, you are managing external examination, then marking, then marks have to be entered, then marks have to be corrected, then you have tabulation, falana dikna. It's like by the time you are done, you're so exhausted that you think, for 1 week I can't do anything. And then my mother, as I said, lives on her own in Kolkata, so traveling to Kolkata. So now I'm enforced to spend time in the studio, which is something that I am enjoying, and I think it gives me a very necessary break. So coronavirus is proving to be a bit of a boon in disguise.
Okay. So how आपका लॉकडाउन पीरियड में अभी क्या डेली रूटीन चल रहा है?
Well, I usually work at night. I'm a sort of nocturnal person. And so even on a regular basis, I work at night, because when everything calms down, there are no phones ringing, nobody is uh, knocking at the door or pressing the doorbell, there is no commotion, then I find it very peaceful to kind of settle down and work. Now, of course, but usually the problem is that I have to then attend college in the morning. So I can't really push it very much. But now, since I don't have to go to the college in the morning, I can work through the night. I'm often working till 4 in the morning, which is a luxury which I don't really have otherwise. So that is the routine. I get up by about 9:30, 10, and have breakfast, do some houseworks. Then I'm back in my studio. Then I go have lunch, take a break. In the evening, I'm usually engaged with family, some work. Then again at night, I'm in the studio. It's been like that's been the more or less the routine, and I'm enjoying it. Yeah. It's not chopped up with
Sir,
travel or
yeah.
need to go somewhere or meet somebody or do something, or go to an exhibition or socialize or take part in some meaningless meeting for 3 hours. You can do that over the video. We have done a board of studies meeting, and so yeah, everything is all right. I just feel very sad about the final year students who were preparing to appear in their degree show, and everything has kind of on hold. And in all likelihood, we will not have a degree show. We cannot afford to have a degree show at this point of time. So we will have to do something virtual. And many of them were stuck here in the hostels, who couldn't go home for a long stretch of time. And it was so sudden that people didn't even take good photographs of their works. They couldn't finish their works. Everything is kind of in a bit of a limbo. So when eventually college opens, we will have a lot of work in our hands. And I feel very bad because they were so excited about their degree show that we will not be able to offer them a degree show. But we will try to have some alternatives. Let's see how it pans out. We are still working on it. So hopefully something will come out of this.
जी. ओके सर, आपने लंदन में मास्टर्स किया रॉयल आर्ट्स कॉलेज से.
College.
तो
Yes.
या वहाँ से उसकी कुछ यादें बताइए.
Yeah. You have this image that England is a very formal society. In some ways it is, because everything you receive, you go to a shop, you say thank you and you say please, and all those things are यहाँ पे तो हम हंसी से काम चला लेते हैं. We don't necessarily say धन्यवाद every time somebody does something to you. I remember some experiences in the city itself, like I was with a map. उस जमाने में तो फोन तो नहीं था, स्मार्टफोन तो दूर की बात. So I had a map. There's a map called A to Z of London, and I was trying to navigate my way. And मेरा एक पैर फुटपाथ पे था और एक रास्ते पे था. And I suddenly looked up and saw that there are 3 cars waiting for me. And I said, Then I realized that the dusra kadam jo hai, that was on a zebra. So because zebra gives the pedestrian the priority, all cars would stop and wait. Nobody was honking horns. Nobody was showing impatience. They were waiting for me to cross the street. Only then they will go, which is unbelievable. That kind of, civic sense and decency. On the other hand, it is very non-hierarchical. और उसका एक मैं खास एक्सपीरियंस आपको बताता हूँ. पहला एक 3-4 दिन में ही हुआ था और मुझे आज तक याद है. We had a freshers meeting, where we would be introduced to the staff, and our head of the department was a man, they call it chair, was a man called Paul Huxley, who was a very hard-edged abstractionist painter. He's still alive. I'm still in touch with him through Instagram and stuff, email. And Paul was there, and we were all sitting in a room, and they entered. So I stood up, like is the tradition that a teacher has entered, you stood up, and I was the only one who's standing up. Everybody was sitting and taking and looking at me, wondering what happened. So I was like a sore thumb, and I realized that it's informal. You don't need to stand up. You don't need to address him as sir. You can call him Paul. And more interestingly, at the end of the party, when everybody left, I was one of the last people to leave. And I walked into there's a large bathroom attached to it. And I saw Paul washing all the cutleries and glasses because it is all on hire and these people are coming to fetch it. And the head of the department is doing the washing up without, there's no peons, there's no helper, and there were no students to help him. So I readily went and helped him doing the work. But so these kind of hierarchies that we have कि एक गिलास पानी भी हमें पीना है तो हम पियोन को बुलाते हैं ना, जाके एक गिलास पानी ले आना भी हमारे लिए बड़ा शर्मनाक हो जाता है कि हम तो प्रोफेसर हैं, हम कम पानी लेके क्यों पिएंगे, कोई आएगा हमारे पीछे पीछे बंदा घूमेंगे, कोई हमको पानी पिलाएंगे. So all that, that you have to be self-sufficient and there is no shame in doing your own work. And that is a lesson that was much more important than any art lessons that I have seen. Other than that, the facilities were very good. We had a carpentry workshop where we could go and make our own frames. Things worked like clockwork. We had a wonderful studio. We could ask anybody to our tutors to engage a practicing artist to come and talk to us, to discuss our works. And like that, we got Paula Rego to come. We had some important contemporary British artists whom the students wanted. They came and taught. Teaching, like I said, some people are good teachers, some people are great artists, but they are not good teachers. But at least you had the option. Then we had slide presentations, we had discussions, we had humanities classes, we had exhibitions which were organized of the students. So that was very active. And the city of London is a wonderful place. You start feeling at home because, I don't know, I kind of felt, I grew up in Kolkata, so it was like a cleaner, brighter, well-lit version of some parts of Kolkata. And it was, so I'm familiar with double-decker buses, I'm familiar with red telephone boxes, I'm familiar with black cabs and, what have you. And because you could speak the language, although it's spoken differently there, that these are all very useful things. And I'm very fortunate that one of my classmates in Baroda, I was mentioning him, Mark Kazale, he was from London, his family was from London. So when I arrived, I was taken straight to his family's place. So his mother became my, aunt there. And she knew about this Indian tradition of addressing elderly people as uncles and aunts. And she said, I'm Deborah, you can call me Deborah, but if you like, you can call me Aunt Deborah. And I said, no, Deborah is fine with me. Yeah. And I'm still in touch with that family. Mark has became my, the home away from home. So it worked out very well on site college. I had spent a long time looking for a house. It was not easy to find cheap housing in London. It's a very expensive city. So I ended up being in the east of London in a very poor neighborhood. Now I believe it is getting a little fancy. In those days, there were a lot of Bangladeshis. There were a lot of very poor West Indian people who were living in that area. but it was a very interesting, culturally rich area. So I had no problem. I mean, I had a ball of a time. I had a great bunch of flatmates. Some of them I'm still in touch with. And we had all kinds of fun. So yes, it was great. And what I enjoyed hugely in London was two things. One was the exposure to art. There were so many places, there were so many galleries. There was South Bank Center, there was Barbican Center. Besides, I got an opportunity to travel in Europe. You know, the scholarship I was on, that is INLAC scholarship, was very generous in giving all the students a 1 month Interrail pass, Eurorail pass, for traveling anywhere in Europe. But in those days, it was not EU. So you had to actually get visas for different countries. And I made several trips to Germany, to France, to Italy, to one short trip to Switzerland, into Holland. And once I went as far as Czechoslovakia. Then it was one country. I even had visa to go to Bulgaria, but I couldn't. I ran out of money. But that was a huge encouragement for you to travel. So I traveled to the Northern Renaissance sites. I traveled to the Italian Renaissance sites, and I saw a lot of contemporary art. So I used the summer vacation very effectively. So that was one great thing. And I was also very fortunate to get 2 scholarships when in college. So I spent 3 months in Paris and 3 months in Berlin. The college had these facilities. So one was an exchange program, the other was an Erasmus grant. So, you know, I came back after seeing a lot of Europe in 2 years' time, which people take, you know, 10, 15 years. So it was kind of quite concentrated and fun. And theater in London was also great. So I saw a lot of theater, I read, and basically I was soaking in like a sponge. So it's been great. And London is a great city. You know, it's one of the sort of most cosmopolitan cities in the world. If you walk in New Oxford Street in summer, you can hear almost any language of the world being spoken, from Swahili to Swedish.
Yeah. Okay, sir. So आप हमें आपके टर्मिनल 2 में जो आपने आर्टवर्क किया उसके बारे में
Yes.
कुछ बताइए.
Oh, well, that was thanks to the chief designer, that is Rajiv Sethi, and the connection that got made was through another friend of mine, Leela, who was a poet who unfortunately passed away last year. And that went through several processes because, you know, for a large commission like that, and it was a sort of semi-official kind of thing. So there were a lot of paperwork to be done. But anyway, I finished. The actual work was done in 3.5 months. And immediately after that, I was going on a artist in residency in Italy, one of my favorite places in Europe, a place called Siena, which is close to Florence and as old as Florence. And it's one of the places that were constantly in fighting with Florence. So I finished it, and the installation was done. Yeah, installation was finished just before I left. So all that was in a bit of a blur. But I worked in my own studio. I had to modify the studio a bit. I have quite a high ceiling, so it is 12 feet high and 26 feet across. And, you know, I mean, these planning drawings, you know, that keep changing. Every time it was like 22 feet and it was then 24 feet. And they were all sending me these measurements in millimeters. And I had to convert them in feet because that is what I work with and understand better. But it was fun. And I had a couple of people who were helping me. I made a structure here where I can stand up and work. It was fun. I mean, not every day you get a chance to work on a project which actually will be seen by millions of people. And I still have people sending me photographs saying, "Aapke mural ke samne se guzara, aur ye hai aapka photograph," which is great. And I enjoyed the process, but there were a lot of bureaucratic things also, which of course nobody enjoys. But then you remember the best parts, right? It was fun, and it actually is part of this artwork. It is a unique airport in the sense that it has got almost this 3 mile long. If you keep art next to each other, it will be several miles long. So itna sara art ek jagah pe under one roof, getting to see it is quite fascinating. And which part of the airport you go, you can experience some art. And almost all contemporary artists, folk artists, tribal artists, even the women in the slum next door made a godri for that. So in a way, it is very all encompassing. Traditional bhi hai, contemporary bhi hai, outsider bhi hai, tribal folk jo bolte hain wo bhi hai. It's nothing is left out of it. Jo popular hai wo bhi hai, jo hum high art bolte hain wo bhi hai. So there is no hierarchy. And that is, I think, a very important decision, because when you talk about Indian art and culture, we have very blinkered visions. किसी को तो खाली क्लासिकली दिखता है, किसी को खाली कंटेम्पोररी दिखता है, किसी को खाली ट्राइबल्स और फोक दिखता है. We rarely get to see this whole vision. I think Swamiji is one of the few people who had this idea. I mean, Bharat Bhavan is one of the first places in the nation which had given equal space to folk and tribal and contemporary art. Dो wings, दो हिस्सा जो है भारत भवन का, one wing was contemporary art and the other wing. And I thought that was an absolutely fascinating idea which has been taken forward since, but we still have a little reticence. ना अभी आर्ट की बात करते हैं तो किस प्रकार की आर्ट की बात कर रहे हैं. So in a way, the Bombay airport is an extension of that idea that वहाँ पे हर तरीके का आर्ट आप देख सकते हो, आप enjoy कर सकते हो, and it is done with some deliberate thought, and it's done quite well. I mean, I've heard ये अच्छा नहीं है, वो अच्छा नहीं है, कारपेट बहुत खराब लगा है. ठीक है भाई, मगर जो है वो तो देखिए ना. We as a nation sometimes look at all bottles as half empty. हम half full नहीं देखते हैं. तो मैं तो मानता हूँ कि हमें थोड़ा फुल की तरफ देखना चाहिए. हम जो नहीं है वो लेके हम हमेशा रोते जाएंगे तो जो है हमारे पास वो फिर दिखेगा नहीं. I think it was very wonderful.
So
I enjoyed.
It's 6:21. So आप क्या चाहते हैं, हम और कंटिन्यू करें कि are you okay with this?
After I'm used to teaching. I'm used to talking for hours, but I think your audience will be losing patience. I think it's enough, unless you have a specific question. If you have, you can take questions from the audience.
Yeah.
Cholamandal, yes. Yeah. Cholamandal was quite another thing. I mean, it was a beautiful place. And when I was in Cholamandal, it had access to the beach, unfettered access. So after Cholamandal, there was a little road and there was a little graveyard. And beyond that was the Casuarina forest. Beyond that was the beach. And that is that. Now, if you go to Cholamandal, all that Casuarina forest mein bungalows ban gaya hai. There are huge bungalows with huge walls, and you have a narrow passageway that takes you to the beach. And the beach has also, I believe, changed after the tsunami. And there is a supermarket in the front. The road has gotten widened and it has become a major expressway kind of thing, which used to be one village road, which used to go all the way. There were few buses and it was very, I don't know. I mean, it was quite out of the world experience for me. And Shubha was there already. She had rented a place. So I went and rented a place, not in proper Cholamandal, but across the village on the other side of the road, away from the sea, in the Kupam, as they call it. The Kupam is the village. And there was a very funny incident. I used to work there. And one day my friend Ravi came and he came laughing and he said, you know what they call you? I said, no, I didn't speak a word of Tamil. So my communication was all sign language and they didn't obviously understand Hindi or English. I didn't speak a word of Tamil. So how do we communicate? It was all, finger gesture, smile, laugh, or writing digits. So he said, they're referring to you as Vellakaram. You know what Vellakaram means? I said, no. So he said, it means a white man. And because a white man in the sense, a foreigner. So he said, oh, ye foreigners ka friend hai. So I was treated as a foreigner in that village. So it was very funny to be back in your own country and then be treated as a foreigner. But it was fun. That is where I made a lot of friends, and Shubha already had a great friend circle. People who are interested in books, people who are interested in theater, cinema, books, poetry, Tara books, Shingita were friends. And still, they just celebrated 25 years of Tara books, and they wanted quality books for our children. So, I mean, it was a very fulfilling life. And in Cholamandal village itself, there were some very nice people. Like there was P. Gopinath, who was very friendly. His house was an open house. Then there was C. Douglas, who was very intellectually aware person. So you could spend hours talking to him. There was a man called Joseph James, who has written the history of Cholamandal. So he was a little anti-Baroda. I had some fights with him. I mean, arguments, not fights. But he was very articulate, and I was also welcome to visit him. And there were some nice people. I then moved to, we actually got married in Cholamandal. So Cholamandal holds a very fond place in my heart. I was very fond, and that was also my first time exposure to living in South India. So I lived for almost 2.5 years before I moved to Baroda. So yeah, I got a lot of exposure about to Tamil culture, and then we traveled to Kerala, and so yeah, it was, and the place itself was magical. I mean, if I go now, I'll get very disappointed because things have changed. I've been there once, and it wasn't quite as open. Open in the sense, I mean, there are houses all around, like everywhere else. But in my time, it was from your house. You can just walk down to the sea in the middle of the night, take a swim in moonlight. Wow, it was fantastic, beautiful.
ओके सर, आप अपने चित्र की शुरुआत किस तरह से करते हैं?
Good question, because I was one of the people who was very much into the process. For me, throughout my student life, even after that, for many years, I could not start work on a blank piece of paper. मुझे उसको पहले गंदा करना पड़ता है. So I have to make marks. I have to do some gestural things. I have to destroy the सफेद paper पे क्या करूँ मैं? It has changed a little bit. Now I can paused. Is the video paused? Can you?
We are back. Hello, sir. आप मुझे
Yeah,
सुन पाए?
yeah, I am back.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah. So the process is a kind of back and forth movement with a finished image in your mind. You have a very vague notion of what you want, where you want to arrive, and the journey itself is very important. So in the process, things change. And because it changes, it can surprise you. Otherwise, it can be very boring. If you know what the image will be like, then you are basically like a labor, you're working towards it. But there are areas where that also happens. So it's very difficult to define how I work. Sometimes it's triggered by maybe a word. Sometimes, often it's triggered by an image, but you have no idea what the finished image will be like. Sometimes you start with an idea that I want a vertical image. I want something which will loom very high. Sometimes you start with this thing about, no, I want an horizontal expanse. And So, yeah, or it can be triggered by, I'm just playing with a color and you apply that color and you can trigger from there. So you don't know what triggers, but because you are working for a long period of time, you also have an area of interest that you already have known. And so it usually pops up there, and ideas come and go, and you know that all ideas are not workable ideas. Some ideas are workable ideas, some ideas are just good as ideas. They may look brilliant. It's like सपने में मैंने देखा मैं एक पेंटिंग खत्म कर डाला, उठ के अगर वो बनाने बैठ जाऊंगा तो that painting will be a disaster, because what you saw in your dream, you saw a finished work, and you think you can paint it, but I can never do it. If I start with a very definitive image in my head that this painting will end up looking like this, then it usually does not work out, because you need to surprise yourself, and that is very important. That element of surprise, I think, is very important.
सो इस पैंडेमिक के बाद आर्ट एजुकेशन में क्या चेंजेस आएंगे, और या फिर आर्ट मार्केट में क्या चेंजेस आएंगे?
देखिए, मार्केट के बारे में कुछ बताना बहुत मुश्किल है, एंड आई डोंट थिंक आई नो वेरी मच अबाउट मार्केट. मैं कोई मार्केट का गुरु तो नहीं हूँ. मैं आर्ट का चर्चा करता हूँ, मैं स्टूडेंट्स के साथ रहता हूँ. सो यस, इट्स बेटर टू सी व्हाट विल हैपन टू आर्ट एजुकेशन. आई डोंट थिंक there will be a fundamental change, but one thing has happened, like हम इस तरह से जो बात कर रहे हैं, that has become much more commonplace. और कुछ शायद ज्यादा ही commonplace हो जाएगा. मुझे तो आजकल मैंने कंटाला आने लगा, क्योंकि हमेशा दिन में 2-2, 3-3 सेमिनार वेब बेस्ड चल रहे हैं. आई मीन अभी सब कुछ देखने बैठूं और मोस्ट ऑफ देम आर वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग, मगर अभी वो देखने जाऊं तो बाकी सब काम धंधा छोड़ के वही करना पड़ेगा, दिन भर वेब में बैठे रहना. तो मैंने भी कुछ लोगों को ये लिंक भेजा ये बता के कि भाई आपके पास समय है तो ही ज्वाइन कीजिए, अगर नहीं है तो आप बिल्कुल चिंता मत करो, ये लोग रिकॉर्डिंग डाल देंगे, जब देखना है तब आप खुशी से देख लेना. Because it is becoming a little imposing on people that I'm going to be live and you have to be part of that. It can like everything else, it can go a little overboard. But definitely one direction it is moving in is that there will be a lot of these sort of virtual interactions, and but virtual interactions has their own limitations when it comes to painting and the art of studio practice. You can't really mentor people. It needs that one-to-one, face-to-face thing, and you need to look at the work, also feel the surface, the texture. You can't really do it virtually very well, but some of it can be done. And what can be done needs to be done, because the virus is not immediately going away, so we will have to get used to it. But this unnatural situation, I don't think will remain for very long, for us at least. And so artists anyway work from home, but art teaching from home is a difficult proposition. Some of it can be done, but you are not, when you are teaching art, you are not like one of those YouTube videos कि आप water color कैसे करें और drawing कैसे करें, घोड़ा कैसे drawing करते हैं. That's not the kind of thing you teach in higher education, right? You are basically talking about ideas, you are talking about the surface, so you need to be there in front of the work, and you need to have that social interaction, because it is actually, a lot of it is hand-holding, encouraging, and to shift the whole thing virtually, which would be the natural impetus, the natural tendency, because खतरा तो उसी में है कि आमने सामने बैठे हैं, तो हम जहां तक हो सके उसको अवॉइड करेंगे. मगर वो कुछ हद तक हो सकता है, कुछ हद तक नहीं. अभी ये how this will unfold, we will have to wait and see. But I think already some shifts have happened, and some shifts have happened like we are talking today here. That is a shift. I mean, we wouldn't have thought about it 3 months back. We would have probably thought about some other forum. But now that we have chosen to interact with this forum, and there are 154 people witnessing it, it just proves that we are adapting, and human beings are very adaptive. So we will adapt to the change situation. So I don't think it'll be a disaster and everything will fundamentally change. I wish certain things have changed. Like you've been hearing these news that जलंधर से धौलाधर दिख रहा है, काठमांडू से माउंट एवरेस्ट दिख रहा है साफ साफ, क्योंकि अब हम कुछ सीखते हैं अबाउट forceful voice demanding these things. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can.
Somebody is asking about method and material in my painting. Well,
Yeah.
मेथड एंड मटेरियल के बारे में देखो, मुझे बहुत हंसी आती है, लोग मुझे आके बोलते हैं आप तो बहुत बड़ा हो, बहुत अच्छा वाटर कलर कर लेते हैं, नो आई वाज सो स्कैर्ड ऑफ दिस ट्रेडिशनल वाटर कलर, ये 3 लेयर में 4 लेयर में जो सिखाया जाता है आर्ट कॉलेज में. थैंकफुली आई वेंट टू एन आर्ट कॉलेज इन शांति निकेतन, नोबडी टॉट मी दैट, but I could learn it indirectly because a lot of my friends were studying elsewhere in these sort of traditional academic places, and I was like not happy with that because it's all about effect. I wanted something where I can work with, जिसमें हम घिस सकते हैं, पीट सकते हैं, चेंज कर सकते हैं, बदलाव कर सकते हैं. I needed that elbow room. I do not work like I said, it's like one image, I know where I want to go and I go get there. I think मंजिल पहुंचने से तो मुझे मजा इसमें आता है कि रास्ता जिसमें से हम गुजर रहे हैं. So the road to the destination is much more interesting than the destination itself. And so मैं अभी वाटर कलर कर रहा हूँ, सालों से कर रहा हूँ, and how I learned it is basically trial and error. There are constantly otherwise people telling you ये मैं मत करो, ये करो. You must know why you should do something and why you should not do something. So कोई भी method और material के बात है, there are certain uh, what do I say, orthodoxies that ऐसे नहीं किया जाता है. One simple example is like color black in watercolor, उसको use नहीं किया जाता है. तो भाई ये वाटर कलर मैन्युफैक्चरर सालों से आपको ब्लैक क्यों दे रहे हैं? अगर आपको यूज ही नहीं करना है, भाई क्यों नहीं यूज करना है, उसका कोई एक historic reason hai. That when the impressionists started working, they realized that you can actually get the shadows not necessarily black, there are many colors in it, and you can arrive at a much fresher kind of shadows using no black and mixing other colors. Fine, that serve their purpose. मगर इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि ये एक orthodoxy बन जाए कि किसी हालत में हम black नहीं use कर सकते. So some of these things, if you learn the process, you kind of imbibe them and internalize them to such an extent that it gets very difficult for you to get out of that. And I think in a way we were allowed to play around and see what works for you, and people would say that अगर ये किया तो ये होने वाला है, yes अगर ब्लैक यूज किया तो फ्रेशनेस थोड़ा कम हो जाएगा, मगर आपको ये मिल सकता है. So everything has its pros and cons, and method and material is like that. There are no do's and don'ts that can be written in a book. There are simple rules, like you cannot do acrylic on top of oil. Why? Because acrylic is water-based, oil is oil-based. So if you have water applying on oil, it will just not stick. मगर इससे ज्यादा आप पतला लगाओगे, मोटा लगाओगे, इम्पेस्टो करोगे, न करोगे, कौन सा कलर के ऊपर कौन सा कलर, नो रूल्स. You have to be able to break the rules. अगर आपको रूल सिखाया भी गया तो then you will have to ask questions कि ये रूल क्यों सिखाया और इसका क्या मतलब है, what purpose does it serve, and if I break the rule, what am I going to get? And that is the fundamental of method and material. So it's nice to learn about method and material because then it tells you the reason of why certain things are done and why certain things are not done. But if you want to break and if you want to try and push that boundary and see, then you will have to perhaps take it in your own hands and see. So it is not that मैंने रूल सिखा दिया और वो इट्स लाइक द इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, वो लिखा हो गया स्टोन पे, पत्थर पे लिखा है, उसको आप किसी तरह से बदल नहीं सकते हो, हमेशा बदलते रहता है. और बदलने से ही कुछ ना कुछ नया निकलता है. So I am a firm believer that method and material has a role, but it's not a very important role. You must know how to correctly use it and what are the reasons why this is being said. But at the same time, you should also have the freedom to be able to go beyond.
So some life,
See,
yes.
lot of art happens from these basic questions of why not. क्यों नहीं? अगर ये सवाल हम नहीं पूछेंगे ना तो कहीं पे कोई मूवमेंट ही नहीं. तो वो मेथड मटेरियल में भी इज इक्वली अप्लाई दैट व्हाई नॉट, क्यों नहीं. और क्यों नहीं का जवाब है, अगर कुछ जवाब है कि अगर आप ऐसे ऐसे करोगे तो इसमें आपका काम 5 दिन के अंदर ब्राउन हो जाए. But if you say that I want that brown, then who am I to say that no, you don't do it? You see, so everybody needs to know the rules, but they also need to know that what those rules will get, and you want to go around that rule, it's possible to go around that. And I am very free about method and material. I just keep in mind certain things that, you know, I don't want my work to get destroyed. So if I'm using something which is highly acidic, I'll think twice about it. That okay, ultimately it'll have a shorter shelf life. But like Mani Saab said, you know, all art is not going to last forever. ये हम जो रंगोली देते हैं दरवाजे के सामने, वो तो एक दिन में खत्म हो जाता है. हम जो मूर्ति बनाते हैं पूजा के लिए, दैट विसर्जन हो जाता है. वो मणि साहब ने जो काम दीवारों पे किए हैं 10 साल में, वो खत्म हो जाएगा. सो उसका डॉक्यूमेंटेशन रह जाएगा. सो नॉट एवरीथिंग इज गोइंग टू बी परमानेंट व्हिच विल लास्ट फॉरएवर, बट सम थिंग्स विल नॉट. सो देयर आर आर्ट एंड देयर इज आर्ट एंड देयर विल बी आर्ट एंड मोर आर्ट. देयर आर ऑल काइंड्स ऑफ थिंग्स पॉसिबल. तो ये मेरे लिए बोलना गलत है कि ये सही है, ये गलत है, ये अकेला यही रास्ता है और दूसरे कोई रास्ते से आप नहीं जा सकते हो. That is probably not a very useful thing to do.
ओके सर, कुछ क्वेश्चंस आ रहे हैं कि इस साल का एडमिशन कब तक पॉसिबल है?
इस साल का admission will happen. How it will happen we still don't know, but usually it's all online. So it is usually in the month of May the online application start, but this time it will be postponed to June. So the whole month of June it will be online, and sometime in July probably, if the situation permits, we will have the test. We in MA though we already ask for people to send, especially from outside Gujarat, to send their portfolios of 10 works और एक shortlisting उसके आधार पे बनाते हैं, because there are only 4 seats in MA painting. अब ऐसा ही 3 सीट इन स्कल्पचर और कुछ 5-6 सीट हैं इन ग्राफिक्स. So it's no point calling 200 people for those many seats. So we usually whittle it down to 25. उसमें भी पूरा दिन चला जाता है, देखना पड़ता है, लोग काम लेके आते हैं. So if by any chance that doesn't happen for whatever reason, then we will have to do it virtually online. Something will be worked out. But अभी तक तो फॉर्म्स देना ही चालू नहीं हुआ है. And as for BA, again it will be in the month of June. So आप msu.ac.in is the university website. वहाँ पे जाके फाइन आर्ट्स फैकल्टी में जाके if you look at admission, you will be able to find it, but not now. Try it in June. So online process, it's application is entirely online process. Online process खत्म होने के बाद you take a printout of your form, you add photocopies of your certificates and your images, and you send a hard copy to the dean's office. For BA, I don't think you don't even need to send images. Only for MA you have to send images. BA का तो normally we conduct a test, an aptitude test जिसको बोलते हैं. So people come here and except for educational qualifications, there is no shortlisting. So everybody comes. And then they appear for 2-3 practical things and 1 written paper. And then if you are shortlisted, you are called for interview. So जितने संख्या में लिया जाता है, I think the total number of seat in BA sub department मिला के is about 80, or so we call about 150 people shortlist करते हैं. But we usually get double that number of applications. सो 300-400 लोग अप्लाई करते हैं, सो वो टेस्ट में आधा कम हो जाता है और बाकी आधा इंटरव्यू में हो जाता है. सो दैट इज बेसिकली द प्रोसेस. या
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर. सर कुछ एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन आपके स्टूडेंट्स पूछना चाहते हैं कि आप उनके स्टूडेंट्स के बारे में कुछ कहिए, आपके स्टूडेंट्स के बारे में कुछ कहिए.
See, we are anyway in some ways quite fortunate that we get some of the best students. So थोड़ा हमारा काम कम हो जाता है, but students, like students everywhere, you know, what they don't realize is that these 4 years of BA and 2 years of masters is actually not a very long stretch of time. So आप जब enter the portals of the college, you think 4 years, that's a long time. You know, all my friends will clear their BSc and BComs in 3 years, and I'm here for 4 years, so I have an extra year, so let me take it easy. So ये मैंने कई बार देखा है कि जो बहुत कठिनाई के बाद, you know, they have entered they really wanted, उसमें रोना धोना हुआ, घर में लड़ाई झगड़ा हुआ है, then they came, they didn't get in 1 year, they tried the second year, फिर बहुत ये सब करने के बाद मिल गया उनको admission. मिल जाने, and so they obviously wanted it desperately, right? Otherwise why would they? फिर मिल जाने के बाद थोड़ा ढीला हो जाता है, you know, it's like I've achieved, मेरा तो हो गया. Nobody has achieved anything, you know. जो मिला है, जो नहीं मिला है, it's only a hairline का गैप है. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप मिले तो आप बहुत अच्छे हो और जिसको नहीं मिला वो बहुत खराब है. It can be a difference of 1 marks, 2 marks, and that can be just a bad day for the other person. You know, so one must consider that you, once you enter the portals of an institution, your responsibility कम नहीं होता है, बढ़ जाता है. Sometimes, like students are students, they will realize it after passing out. तो आके मुझे बोलते हैं फिर कि सर आपने तब बोला था, अब याद आ रहा है, अब मुझे समझ में आ रहे हैं कि उसका माने क्या था, महत्व क्या था. अब एमए पास होके निकल जाते हैं 2-2 साल. तो मैं पहले ही बोलता हूँ कि भाई देखो 2 साल के लिए आप है उधर, इसमें छुट्टियां हैं, इसमें गरबा है, इसमें एक्सकर्शन है, इसमें स्टडी टूर है, इसमें बीमारियां हैं, इसमें घर पे किसी का शादी है, ये है, फलाना है, डिकना. योर एक्चुअल वर्किंग टाइम विल बी लेस देन 1.5 साल, उससे भी कम है. सो इफ यू रियली वांट टू डू समथिंग, और ऐसा मौका आपकी जिंदगी में कब आएगा शायद नहीं भी आए. I have never found that kind of an uninterrupted time when you are expected to do nothing but work. आप वहां से कॉलेज से निकलोगे तो कोई ना कोई जिम्मेदारी आपके ऊपर आ ही जाता है. Some responsibility you will have to take, whether it's family, whether it's wedding, your own family, your parents' family, जो भी है. You know, it's very difficult for people are finding a job, making a living, having a roof above your head. You know, so it's not going to be such uninterrupted time. You are always balancing it with other needs of your life, and this is one time when your expectations are minimal, that other expectations. So you are required to do what you come here to do and have your full focus in that. If you do it somewhat, students again will be students. हम अभी तो एक्सपीरियंस से कुछ कुछ बोल सकते हैं, बट व्हेन यू आर दैट एज, यू नो, यू थिंक देयर इज सो मच टू लाइफ, और ये, यू नो, you have to take in everything, and you do have fun. I'm not saying that you have to be all the time in the studio. That makes very bad artists. You have to experience life, but at the same time, if you're not serious about your practice, what happens is that once you get out of the college, then you realize that, you know, oh my god, वो पश्चाताप होता है कि I wish I had used that a little bit more. वो जहाँ तक कम हो जाए. And what is a college is not just the studio, it's also the environment. You learn more from the environment. You know, we have the archive, you have the library, you have film shows, you have constant visitors who are giving presentation, you have interaction with your teachers all the time, you know, and this is quite a privilege that one has to understand.
Okay.
ये अखिलेश जी ने फोन किया था मुझे अभी. मैं तो कट कर दिया,
ओके
मगर शायद टाइम कुछ ज्यादा ही हो रहा है। चलो लेट्स रैप अप।
जी
या
जी ओके ओके सर थैंक यू सो मच थैंक यू सो
थैंक यू,
मच आप आज
इट्स
हमारे
फन।
साथ लाइफ में जुड़े फाउंडेशन ऑफ आर्ट एंड कल्चर आपका बहुत बहुत आभारी है सो
फाइन,
थैंक
थैंक
यू
यू। आई होप यू
सर
गेट
या
समथिंग आउट ऑफ इट। या
डेफिनेटली definitely everyone was
I'll
so
take
much
the call now. Akhilesh is
okay
online.
yes sir thank you so
Yeah,
much sir
okay, bye.
yeah
Thanks
okay
for your
bye sir
patience.
bye sir no thank you so much sir it was pleasant for me थैंक यू सो मच सर कल हमारे साथ 5 बजे रियाज कोमू सर होंगे तो आप सभी का फिर से स्वागत है कल शाम 5 बजे थैंक यू सो मच